name's Carl Moyes. I'm the original founder and creative director of Moshi Moshi. We're now located with Maker & Co, and I know with Maker they do a lot of stuff with IPS as well. It's actually pretty cool because I know Kiko from Brief Accounting, he's part of our BNI network, and I've had a few deals with Ian, who's an amazing man, and I hope he'll give you a lot of wisdom shortly as well. Me and Ben wanted to do a bit of a looser session and just basically be able to pick our brains and give you some quick snapshots, have a bit of a discussion between ourselves, and obviously bring the room into that as well. So please engage as much as you want. By all means, try not to throw crap at us, literally, but we'll try and do it differently and see how we go. I'm going to really run through 6 slides pretty quickly, then we'll try and dive deeper into some conversation, then we'll follow up from there. So, building a personal brand. I'm going to probably come at it more from a corporate point of view because branding is branding, whether it's an individual basis or a big multinational. The concepts are largely similar and consistent from there. Do you want to just quickly give me a slide, my man? Thanks, Steve. Quick bit about me. So, I'm originally from the UK, husband to an amazing wife, Katie, dad to 2 crazy nuggets, Phoebe and Ruby, weightlifting, CrossFit sideline hustle. 22 years of creative grinding in the industry is what we call it from there as well. My strengths are design and digital marketing, and I've worked from startups right the way through to big corporate organisations, more in the UK versus my time in Australia. And I should definitely do a whole lot more with my art, as I'm sure everyone in the room would be feeling as well. And that's my big mission for the second half of this year. Next slide. So what is a brand? It's often in my industry, people think a brand is a logo or your font or your colour schemes or your photography. But I kind of say your brand is a bunch of ideas that exist out in the world and you don't really own your brand. Like your brand is owned by the ecosphere out there. All we can ever try and do is influence what people think of our brand or reinforce what people think about our brand as well from there. Like logos, font choices, colour schemes, photography, they're all elements of branding where we're trying to influence what people think and understand about our organisation. But the brand is just something that exists. It's not tangible, but every idea you have about me right now is forming my brand in your minds. Same with the previous speakers. You'll start attributing values or ideas with everything you've experienced, and that becomes a brand in a real simplistic form. Let's jump to the next slide. Are you loving it? Now this is I put this in here for a reason, and I apologise to you amazing ladies who's going, no, I know the mission you have with your food, which isn't aligned here. But I just want to quickly throw it out to the room. What are your thoughts on McDonald's? Quick. What's your thought on McDonald's? Don't eat it. What's your thought on McDonald's, man? Nasty. Now, how I see it, McDonald's is all of those things. McDonald's pay relatively low wages. We can question the health benefits of the food. We can question the environmental impact of the food. McDonald's is also, I'm hip, I'm fun, I'm loving it, I'm colourful, I'm fresh, I'm aiming at young demographics. All of these things about McDonald's are kind of true to some degree. So all McDonald's can ever do is reinforce the good attributes they want people to associate with their brand, or try and influence you to think differently. And they'll do this by sponsoring the Olympic Games. Because if we are watching the Olympic Games and we see McDonald's there, then surely if I eat McDonald's, I'm going to be a world-class, world record-breaking Olympic athlete. Of course not. But that's a very short concept of branding that McDonald's do to try and influence how you think and how you perceive their brand. Let's go, quick fire one. Everything you say and do will be judged. We as human beings want to put things in boxes with labels and find patterns that match different things. And I think as a business owner and as a creative as well, for my own journey, the awareness of myself and how I conduct myself at every possible moment is brand influencing to some degree. So become an influencer even when you're not online. It's a buzzword, I'm an influencer, like who cares? We're all influencers. Every moment we have with an individual or a group of people is an opportunity to inspire, to influence, and to get you thinking differently and ascribing values, ideas, and experiences to me, to Ben, and to everybody in this room right now. And ultimately, branding is about how you conduct yourself, how you engage with people, and what lasting impression you leave on people from that point onwards. Let's go, next slide. Cool, and we are in the internet, the age of the storyteller. Like we heard the amazing stuff from foodies before, how they were taking photos and getting stuff out there. Like, you don't need to engage with a big marketing firm. You can start the journey on your own, leveraging tools like Facebook, Instagram, and other social media to get the ball rolling. Curate and stimulate, but please don't propose on the first date. And what I mean by that is if you try and tell everybody your whole life story in the first brand engagement they're going to have, that person is going to be bored shitless, leaving the room, and they're probably not going to give you a second thought. If you drop a few crumbs of tasty food in front of them, they're going to eat that up and follow you for more. So really start thinking deeper about what are we putting out to the world, and are we giving people enough to want a little bit more and a little bit more? And at some point down the line, those brand engagements that someone's going to have is going to be enough to convert them into a customer or a loyal brand ambassador, whatever the heck you want to call it. But it's all about giving little snippets regularly that forms these stories and ideas to people from there. So I'm going to hand over to Ben very quickly, and then we're going to have this sort of discussion and go from there. Over to you, my man.
Well, you rap really fast. I'm going to try to keep up with that. Yeah, I don't think I can go that fast. But anyway, this is my what I do. My background is I was a destination wedding shooter. I travel everywhere to shoot weddings. But COVID hit 2 years ago. We all experienced that. So as an artist, as a business owner, you got to pivot somewhere else. So my pivot was to go commercial. It's entirely new for me. It's like when you just started a business, you think, I know photography, what works here works well there. It's not, it's different. The clientele is different. Wedding clients, the clients that I have in Europe and everywhere else in the world, America, they have a certain look, a certain vibe, certain magazines that they read, a certain, social media that they follow and all that. But the commercial side is totally different. I don't even know where to start. So I started with personal projects. Like what you do, if you can sell the art, sell it first, pay the bills and all that. But eventually, when you get time for yourself, and you need to make time for yourself to do something that you're really passionate about, whatever you draw, you may not have the clientele. It doesn't matter. Do that first. Then that will be your project, and that project, for me, became my business. So next slide, yeah. So this is what I did. Instead of just taking boring portraits, some of them are in Bunbury. You probably know a few over there. So it's about capturing stories with impact. Now, a lot of people, a lot of clients, they don't have a lot of time to read your website. They just scan through. You got 2-3 seconds to capture attention in a short time. You know what you do. This guy is a wool trader. I've spoken to the calligrapher, Madeline Jewelry, just down the road here. Bubble has met her recently. Matt from Lost Hills, just down the road here. So everything tells the story of what they do. Charlotte, you probably know her around here. So yeah, this is what I do. It's not about following the trend. It's about creating your own trend sometimes. I like to go niche. I like to focus on more specific clientele where you save money at the same time marketing. Now, if you go to market to every single one, it's a lot of money. You got to go different magazine, go to different place. But if you've got a very tiny niche, like what I did for wedding, I thought, when I found the genre of wedding, I got this. This is my thing. This is where I'm going to go. Then I realized that's a natural light shooter. Then from a natural light shooter, natural light and airy film shooter. Then top that, natural light film, romantic shooter that does destination wedding. So my clientele just shrunk from this to this. But that's fine, like Jerry Maguire. You don't need all that. You just need the best client to motivate you, and like most artists as you are, you take things personally. You cannot make everyone happy. There are people who do not like your art. That's fine, because they are not your clientele. You just focus on the clientele likes them, and you know where they are at, and you market where they view their things. If they go to certain gallery, get it down there. If it's read certain magazines, get it there. So it's finding your very niche market is where I like to be at, and I guess most guys should do that, because I think that's a quote that I read. It's not about being famous, it's about being selectively famous. We are small, I'm small. If I'm big firm, maybe I would not rely on this quote, but I am a small business owner, so this is what I do. Next slide. I think that's about it. Yeah, Oh, it's a bit dark. What is your story? So I will start with your story, meaning your background based on your personal projects. Like you can say, you know, I grew up on the farm, you know, I like greens, I like, you know, stuff, certain things. That's where you start. And then as you do more personal project, you discover more about yourself. And then, you know, again, if you're not passionate what you do, especially an artist, you're not going anywhere. If you just want to make money, this is not the place you want to be at, because you will not make money. If money first, that's not going to happen. Some people with a lot of big backing from a rich dad, maybe so. But if you don't, you need to have the passion, because it's all hard work. Like in the food industry, you know, all the beautiful things that happen. Like for me, when I shoot destination weddings, say in Montenegro and Bhutan or Iceland and all that, it sounds pretty cool. But the preparation before it, the stress before it, the wedding planners like, whew, crazy. 3 days of wedding, you know, when you deal with VVIP people, billionaires and all that, they don't take like, they want the best of the best. And they pay the best of the best to get the best of the best. So if you've got a lot of clients, you can't deal with that. So you've got a specific clientele and you're very passionate what you do, you go the extra mile to deliver that. That's where, you know, you found your clientele. So very, you know, passion, distinct voice is very important, where, you know, how you are being differentiated. Now art has so many genres. Like my wedding, you think, oh, genre, the wedding, you got it. It's a lot more than that. Okay, if you like nature, what flower, what specific flower, you go really, really niche, and the more you know, you realize more you don't know. Then you discover more, and then realize that suddenly you're a specialist in that field. Okay, and if like, you know, I spoke to some guys, you know, and some ladies, and she likes to say the color pink. And I said, okay, what are you going to do with that? You know, how are you going to bring yourself to the next level? I said, you know, you should like niche of niche of niche. If say Taylor Swift needed a pink party, all right, she will know where to look for, because I want this lady that does everything pink in a certain way, in a certain look, in a certain a certain theme, that there's only one person in the world can do, because that's your passions, and she will get you all the way to wherever you are in the world, because to them there's petty cash. So you get to that country and do your passion. So it's finding your voice is very important, because you can't improve if you do not enjoy what you do. Obvious, it's pretty obvious. So target niche is what I've covered as well. Finding very specific market. You cannot satisfy everyone. There will be clients that will bring you down. And that's the clients that you leave it for your competitors. You do not want that. For wedding, for artists and all, you know, who create stuff. The moment you can have like the whole year of amazing, you know, clients. Then one client came back and said, I want a refund, you're terrible, this is the worst I've ever seen in my life. That will affect your mood, they will affect your journey. You probably want to, you know, with some mental health and all that for one client. So it's not worth taking that client. Okay. Pass it on. Your client experience, like what I've shared, is about over-performing. So, you know, when you promise something, you over-deliver. You don't tell them what you will deliver fully. You just give them, this is what I'll do, this is what I'll complete, you'll be happy, and I will, you know, add some finishing touches to that, and then you wow them with way more than what you actually plan to give, but you don't tell them that. So when you deliver your artwork, it's all about packaging. It's all about freaking packaging. Like when you buy Apple, you open the box, wow, it felt good, right? You buy Dell, say, yeah, it's pretty good computer, but the feeling is different. The feeling is different. So you want the package. Like, so if you deliver artwork, it's like, okay, this is an artwork, thank you so much, it's a market. They don't feel that it's precious. If not precious to you, it's not precious to them. If you package it so brilliantly with your branding, with a nice ribbon, with a nice paper, say thank you so much, and you sign there with the transparent paper, it's like, it's all about the experience of unboxing. And then you take out the nice Tiffany box and I'll take it out. Wow, it's just one click. So it is about the whole experience. So yeah, I'm going to stop here. If you have any question, let me know. Yeah, I think we have
Reset, maybe sit.
Yeah.
You want to sit? I'm probably staying because I just can't sit. I think, like, I love the idea of what Ben's talking about with experience and niching and being able to, like, you know, put yourself in a smaller box. You know, who likes ice cream? Give me a show of hands. Yeah? What's your favourite flavour?
Custard.
What's your favourite flavour?
Meat.
Give me some flavours, just shout out for you.
Coconut. Chocolate.
Cool, so no one said vanilla.
I love vanilla.
Alright, that's all good. I'm not going to pick on you because you said vanilla. But vanilla is the flavour made for the masses.
Not if it's got to be a certain.
It's got to be certain. If you've got vanilla bean extract, I'm feeling that vanilla. You're talking niche vanilla. Yes. But generally speaking, when we talk about average ice cream, are we not talking vanilla? Vanilla is aimed at everyone in the room, so we can go, yeah, that's nice. But it's not going to be vanilla with vanilla bean extract and other little creamy things going through it. That's the vanilla you're after. So again, who are we targeting, and we're trying to target everyone? Like for my business, if I was to try and target everybody, and we used to do that, I'm going to be bogged down with way too much work that's sold way too cheap, and I'm going to end up trying to find a job on a trade site just for my own mental health. Finding your niche, finding your market, finding your choir is the key. And you're going to piss a lot of people off along the way, excuse my language. But the thing is, it's like the people you piss off, they're not going to be spending money with your organisation. So if we're a little bit disruptive, if we're a little bit impactful, if we're quite happy to make some noise, the people that resonate with that, they're going to be the ones that come in and be a part of that journey. The other ones are probably going to scream about how bad you are, but PR is PR. If it's bad PR or good PR, they're talking about your organisation, they're talking about your brand. And for me, that's an opportunity to storytell and to engage a bit deeper as well. Excuse me.
So
I'll see you stand
before we take some questions, I prefer to take questions than waffle away. What Mitch said with accounting is very good. It's a base that you build upon. But as an artist, after that, you move up the next level. About pricing is like when people ask you how much you charge for your art, you don't count hourly, you don't count the canvas. That's your cost to know. That's how much you need to cover. But you don't tell them that, okay, from there I put another $50 for my profit. You don't do that because people like, Giorgio Armani and Ferrari and Porsche, Microsoft CD, those days, you don't buy the disc, you buy what's in there. So you need to sort of price where you feel is right, but not to say that you should give him a bomb. I didn't straight charge 20 grand for a wedding. I started with $400. Then you work your way up. Then you see, then there was once I went too high. Then I was like, okay, it's a bit quiet now. I come down a bit. So it's where you find your niche and where you price yourself. But when people pay more, they expect more. So again, you make sure there's experience. But when people pay more, you know that they are niche clients to you, and that's the clientele you want. Now, eventually you may not find your voice. You do a lot of different things. But how I found my style or my voice is when clients get back to me, Ben, I really like this photo. This photo, one of you was like, I didn't even know there's a thing. But you get feedback, and I said, oh, you can say that you painted this flower here. You paint a lot of flowers. But for some reason, you keep selling that one flower. There must be something about it. And you ask everyone who buys it, why that? Then they tell you more and more. Then you discover, oh, there's more details. They start drawing more details within the flower, or more different variety of backgrounds that you try. So there's a lot of things you keep trying. That's where you go niche on niche on niche. But yeah, this is what I think branding should be. But I think we should take some questions. Any question about pricing or branding or anything for me and Carl, just fire away.
How about this team?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Just what you're saying about feeling.
Yeah, feeling, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the businesses is doing this partnership about the markets, right?
Okay.
And I watch stall holders, and I watch the new ones sit with their arms crossed at the back of their gazebo, and I look at what they've got and just pass my private judgment. And at the end I'll check in and go, how's your morning? And they go, oh no, it wasn't very good for me, thanks. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry that's your experience. And then I'll go up to somebody that was like, oh, morning, how are you? Oh, you look have a beautiful dress today. How are you? And they're not focused on their sales.
Yes.
They're focused just on people and
People,
giving them the
connection,
experience.
yeah,
Right?
experience.
So what you're talking about is so
It's the
powerful.
experience, client experience is so important. I was a window user. I don't remember one, like my wife used Mac all the time, like, what's so special about it? It's overrated and all. Until I watched a video of how a MacBook was made. Those days, how they precisionally cut the block of aluminum, whatever that is, and how they do it. And it was like, wow, it's worth every cent. I went and bought straight away and just changed system from
This guy fell for the marketing.
so now I don't know how many Macs at home and all. So now the point is it's a story that you tell, like in the food business. Like they say, if you can whip a burger, why not I go to McDonald's? But if they see the amount of process and thought you put in terms of even the flavor, let's start with the sauce first. We don't even go to the bread, let's start with the sauce. You experiment this, we add a bit of this, short amount of ingredients, said no, and she's like, no, that's not good, let's try this. So much effort. Okay, now we go to the patty. Then we go to the cheese. Then we go to the bread. It's like, wow, I'll pay that price. $20, $30, I'll pay that. And then you come with a wrap, nice packaging and that. Wow, that's next level stuff. And then people, talk all the amazing things about it. It's like brand is about what people say about your brand when you are not in the room, which is the next quote over there. The next slide, sorry, yeah. So yeah, when it's by Jeff Bezos. So and I truly believe in that. So how they want to talk about it, how they want to brag about, hey, I know this girl. Their food is next level. You know the cheese. Do you know the sauce? They tried 20 different sauces before they decided on one sauce.
It's called the love bit, the love.
The love, yes, the passion, and it's just the sauce. Imagine everything else within the burger and how you even make the bun. So you give a lot of, like people will think that, wow, this is worth the money. So that is all about, the client experience.
You want to come work for us?
This guy's passionate.
I'm passionate what I do. Any other question on this side?
If you've got anything relatable to yourselves right now,
yeah.
fire it at us and we will give you a quick, immediate.
Yeah. I'm not going to waffle, I'm straight to the point.
Sorry, we'll come to you next, Elshrain.
No, I was just saying, we're the quiet side.
I feel like a question brewing in the
Okay.
How about I ask the question at this area?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, are we all artists over here? Just give me a quick
Okay.
Who is struggling to communicate out to the world what they do with their art right now?
Yeah. No, put your hand.
Alright.
It's a generational problem. Generation Y, good. Generation X, bad. That's what it comes down to.
What do you do for art, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, good
What's your sort of,
Paint and draw.
and how much of the process do you share with the world? Like there is the final piece.
None. Bugger all. I do put things on Instagram, but nothing on Facebook, which is really where I need to do it. In terms of Bunbury and promoting workshop and things like that. But,
I'm going to come back a little bit to the guy's burger sauce he was talking about. What we judge the moment. Like we all do it like, oh, this is the moment, this is my judgment, this is how it is. What we found to think about is that this is all of the moments that lead to this moment here. So we're trying to sell a final piece of art to an audience. But like as a quiet artist myself who sacrificed art for design, like I know that I'm losing my train of thought. Come back. Where was I going? Oh shit. Sorry. Artists.
Something about sauce.
Sauce. Journey. Yes. Journey. But I lost. All right. Come back. We judge the moment, but what we found to think about is what is all of the moments that lead in. As art, for many of us, like our own personal journey through life, is often expressed in that final piece as well. But if we just put it online to sell it, we don't share the emotional journey, the storytelling that led us to that moment. How can...
It's like a foreplay.
Do you know what? It is exactly foreplay leading up to that point. If we don't warm people up effectively, how are they going to dive in and want to buy this piece of art? I think it's probably not the right way.
I was going to say, you're going to sell the sizzle, not the sausage.
We're going into all sorts of bizarre branding right now. But coming back to the idea, I know when I draw, my drawings can be anywhere from 4 hours to 40 hours. And you know what? I just share the final product and now and again I'll share a midway sketch. Like people want to know, what is that journey you went on? Where was your mindset at that time? How did this react or reflect in your life or the people around you? If we don't, that's part of our personal brand. If we want to no, this is too personal, I just want to give you a bit of art and not explain that, then we're cutting ourselves short.
It's intimidating.
Of course it is, man. Business, and I'll lean more to business versus branding, but the two overlap. Business is intimidating. Anyone who's been in business in this room will know business is goddamn brutal at times. But if we want to make money from this, we've got to go and face up. We've got to get uncomfortable in what's going on, and we've got to share our story and who we are like everyone is a potential customer. That is hard work when you start that journey, and the me you're hearing today was very different from me 20 years ago doing his first ever talk and behind a laptop and just relied on PowerPoints. But the point is that it all contributes to who we are, and that becomes the brand or becomes a set of ideas that people have and resonate with ourselves from now. So any artist in the room who isn't showing any of their progress on any social media platform right now, your homework from tonight onwards is to start documenting your story. Because without the story, it's just a final piece of art. With the story, there is a journey we go on together. Like I can suddenly go, this piece of art, I can see, like Dee's an amazing artist here. I don't know if you're aware of the work she does. I know Dee a little bit personally, I know the journey she's been on, and you see that reflected in the work that she does. And I think that everyone here, whatever your art form is, whatever inspired you to pick up a pen, or to craft some jewellery, or to do some amazing paintings that gets in Lost Fields, Lauren, whatever it is you do, you have to embrace that to the fullest and let everyone go on the journey with you. We're buying into a journey. The final piece is really like, here's the token thing at the end, but it's the journey we go on that's important. And when we have art displayed in our home, sorry,
All right.
back to you. Next question.
Sorry, no. What is your one question again, like more specific that we can talk about? Like, what are you struggling specifically? Like, if we can help you solve this today,
You
we
know
can
what,
move on.
I know what I should be doing, and I know what I am doing. You know, and I know what I get attracted to. And when I find artists that I really love and I follow, it's their vulnerability. And it's when they're talking about things that I can relate to, and I'm not doing that. And I'm really interested in generational differences. And I am from a generation where you don't talk about your vulnerability, but the next generation they do. And I do find that.
I think you shouldn't focus on that too much. I think we can't be good at everything. Like my accounting, when I start looking at figures, oh, glad that's brief accountant, take that crap. Before I'm an accountant, every once a year to sit down with this weird accountant or bookkeeper, oh, that's terrible, it's painful. So then, they got zero and all that handball. I never have to worry about accounts again. Move on to what I'm passionate about. Now you can't, if I'm not mistaken, I watched the movie Girl with the Golden Earring, the pearl, he had an agent, he had a gallery, he got someone to work with. That's because he is not a people person. Because you're too creative to be a people person, you can't be everything. Now, I'm lucky in the sense that I bridge both. Mainstream-ish, so I can connect with people. But not every artist are there. If you're next level, you can't do that. So what you can do is focus on, okay, maybe I should get someone, a good salesperson or a marketer, outsourced to the certain people who loves your work. Not for the money, they love your work. It's easier for them to brag about you than you brag about yourself. Get that person. It's hard work. Instead of finding clients, you find agents. You find people. If they don't work, don't sign exclusive or anything until you realize, that's the right person. You try. Because I feel that there are some guys along the way, they sign one year, whatever, they get stuck with one crappy guy and they can't do anything, they're stuck. So try and look for that person. Then once you can focus back on your art because you can't do both.
Yeah, because I think you've really hit the nail on the head. Because the whole idea of selling yourself, I can't.
You can't be good at everything.
I can't do it, but it's and there is something that I've been really working on recently. I can't do everything, and I don't have to. And that's I'm still.
It kills your passion. It kills your passion.
Yeah, and I'm still working on that to the point of actually doing it.
Yeah.
But and these are so important.
And the next step to that is how do you attract those agents? Because they got 50, 100, 200 people to look at. So you need to know, first of all, again, your story, back to the story, back to all your passion and very specific. Then once you got that story, you know your product already. You know this is you. When you go to any gallery, when you look at that shot or my photo or for your artwork, you know it's painted by Van Gogh or whatever, you know he got his style. So when you look at that, he got your style. But how you get there is you have to first find your style, your voice. Once you've got there, then you look for the people or agents or sales and all that who loves this thing. Then you go to their network, you go to their gallery, that's where you gotta hustle. You gotta go there and say, hey, check out my work, and all. Nowadays it's quite convenient with LinkedIn and all that. You do whatever is necessary, is required. Hustle virtually, online, whatever, you do that. But you are not looking for clients. You are looking for agents who can upsell you, bring the value up, who loves your work. Not for the money, loves your work at the same time. So there's a lot of research of homework that you got to do to find that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
One thing about LinkedIn,
Yeah.
do you think that that's worth it for us?
Honestly, I just started LinkedIn. From the wedding, I don't even look at that. I look at wedding magazine and all that stuff. But having said that, it is easier to find. Now, when I was hustling, there's a two ways to look at it. Once I say, if I look at a gallery in Perth, and all that, you Google, you go to a website, you write an email, don't know where you went to, go to the secretary, they probably went to spam and all that. LinkedIn is more direct.
Yeah.
Okay, it's more direct. And then you say, okay, I want a gallerist in a certain place. And if you type that out, you connect directly. And when you connect, please don't spam the hell out of them. Like, hey, check out my work and all that. You connect first. Hey, this is what I do. I love what you do. The gallery is amazing. I love your artists that you represent. I'd like to know more if you can. If we can, the keyword is connect. It's not to sell, it's to connect. Okay, that's one part of it. The other part is like how you want to, I lost my channel of thought, so many things running in my head. But going back to, the LinkedIn site, that is one way that you can connect. The other thing I want to bring up now, there was once, I think a couple of months ago, 6 months ago, Clubhouse was a thing. I don't know if anyone was a Clubhouse. So I'm like, I need to check it out. So I went in there. There's many rooms, all right? But it's a lot of rooms who are galleries owners. At one time, I thought I want to sell my work as art. So I checked out that there's so many galleries there in Indonesia, in America, in Europe. They are there as a speaker, and you can join in the conversation there. And they got to know you. I added a lot of friends, guys from there, and then connected after that. So that's how you can connect with. The best about, I'm not saying Clubhouse is the best now, and a lot of people have left Clubhouse, but I think there's still some in there who are connected. Now, when you connect with them, you literally speak to them. You're not writing an email. You're asking them questions. There's a panel of people, of galleries all over the world. They are there to help you. Now, they may not help you sell, but they can guide you. It's like panel here, just ask a way, we tell you, then you think of a way. It's like, why am I not selling? Then they say, can you share the work? Look at that, that's not really marketable because, it's this and that. Then you look at it, you can agree, you disagree, that's fine. But you look into it and see how you can improve and make it mainstream-ish first. Then you pull out even weirder, like I think a lot of famous painter, they start painting, say, I don't know much of painting, say Van Gogh or what. They started painting a portrait first that looks like a human. And then he went something else, and that's where he found his niche of niche. Yeah. But you got this first find a foundation, a starting ground, a mainstream ground first. If you found the next one, very good, but a lot of them have not found that. So you start with that first, then you go next level. But to conclude this, I think go to any networking thing, like I say, Clubhouse was good. I haven't been in there for ages, but if it's still there, check it out. It's free.
It was art-related things.
Oh, there's a lot about maintaining your artwork as well. That's another hundreds or like a lot of about how you meet your artwork, sell on the internet, like how people sold his crap for millions of dollars. Not because sometimes thought he would need that. A lot of money is floating in the Bitcoin, all that realm, that they don't want to bring it back into tax purposes and all, whatever that is, but they want to roll the money or reinvest it, and what they invest is buying things sometimes they don't need, but they like it sometimes. So it could be just a graphical thing that is nothing to me, but if it's like $2 million, gee, I want to spend my $2 million, I can't spend it here in the real world, why not spend it there? And he sold, I don't know, 6 point something million, I don't know how many million he sold for his digital work. It's not even like what you do, it's digital.
NFT stuff.
So,
The NFT.
NFT, yeah, it's like minting artwork in the virtual world. It's another thing as well, it's quite confusing, but just to give you just a broad perspective, it's literally selling your artwork virtually.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that you can sell.
I'm sorry, I'm full of Dean, because I know Dean probably knows more about NFTs, I'm assuming me and Ben do combined.
Yeah.
I know some
You can speak to her later, yeah.
Yeah. On like LinkedIn, great for connecting. Instagram, get your visual stuff out to the world in a big way. Facebook, I think it's waning a little bit in the power it used to have, but it's still a powerful tool to get your friends connected, sharing and everything else as well. Do you want to say reels? Because that's your jam more
I
than
really
me.
want to say reels, no.
Look, just say it. Well, this is Lauren. Lauren's a bit of a brand awesome designer as well, a good friend of mine, and she's the associate lobby goddess of the room.
Thanks, guys.
Reels.
So Instagram Reels, if you're not on it and you're an artist, it's a really good option for you. Just find a trending audio, do a little time lapse of you painting your painting, and I've had one that's reached 10,000 views of people I don't know, just because I've done those few things, and that's resulted in like 1 or 2 sales of my artwork. So if you're not using Reels, it's quite easy. It's just a portrait video on Instagram. Set your little tripod up, do a time lapse of your painting,
And who's got one of these?
and go for it.
Like you have a supercomputer at the end of your hand with generally pretty good photography and a couple of apps. You can be like taking some photos, shooting some video, uploading that into the world. Like as an entry-level form of marketing, start with yourself. Get it cranking, get it out to the world. You're not going to please everybody, but this is a tool to get things started. And think about what we put out there, how we conduct ourselves, what story am I putting out to the world, and how am I building relationships with the people out there as well. We out of time?
Yeah, I think.
All right, we're going to...
One more question?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
question.
I'm just worried about, I had a photograph which I found was quite iconic, lots of people seem to like it, and it was my favourite photograph in the world as well, and other people were sort of connecting with it, and I use it on my business card. But just recently I did a little logo design on Vistaprint, a simple takes 10 minutes type thing. And now I've got this logo and this iconic photo, and is it okay to have different things that people identify with you? Because some people resonate with different things, or am I mixing it up and confusing people if I've got
No, like
different?
if we talk about
What do you
branding elements,
Yeah,
within that
branding
sphere,
elements, yeah.
logo, photography, videography, content, colour, anything that people are going to visually or engage with is a branding tool.
Okay.
Like one of them on their own is not the brand.
Yeah.
Even collectively they're not the brand, but this is the branding vehicle we're putting out there. So brand is an idea, the element of branding is influencing and reinforcing the idea as well.
So you can have different pieces.
Absolutely.
Just a quick note on that, but where you need to be very careful. Now, if Apple have 2 logos, I'd be confused, what's happening. But if you integrate, become one, then that is a different story altogether. But having said that, what if you change that? But your logo doesn't change. What if you found out that something else new that you got? Are you going to change your logo again for that? You're going to think long term here.
I think the logo I'm content with.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
fairly simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
But the image, the photograph is something that people.
Can you change the logo to look like what you really like? It becomes a logo.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
If you can integrate that as one,
Yeah.
but again, you must think really long term. Like for example, my business, there's a lot of my mates that, so it's a trend now. Like the name of my business is brand new, my name, so it's easy, But he decided to come up with sentences like rock band and all that. They got a whole sentence that sounds pretty cool. But the moment if you change, like for me, when I pivot away from weddings, my clientele is different. You got to rebrand the whole thing as a big thing, a station, it's a business card. Now, I don't have to. I use the same logo because it's just my name. I'm not saying you should use a name. I'm saying that a word or name or whatever, you can use that. You think of it as more timeless. If I start adding a lot of things like what I have loved today, 10 years later, look at that, maybe I don't like that thing anymore because I have evolved so far that I don't like my logo anymore. Then you change this, you will rebrand the whole thing. So it's not really a very cost-effective way, sorry.
Oh, but for me personally, I am an artist, but I do many things.
Yeah.
So, I paint live at events, I do workshops, I run a portrait painting class, I am a practicing artist in my own right. So, I guess, my business card is just sure you don't visualize.
Perfect,
If they went to my website, they saw all those things under that one site.
Yeah.
I guess that my brand is me, but I do different things.
Now, it's okay to do so many, I should a lot of things, but I just don't market it. All right, you can, when you say look for fashion show, look at the ladies on catwalk, they wear the weirdest thing that you can't even go out with that, what they wear. But it's about elevating the brand, that I can do this, but I sell t-shirts for $600, you know buy that? Because it's the brand. So you focus on your best. The best, not just your best work, it's your work that you're most passionate about. all right? And you just market that. Like I market what I do, just that, but I do events and all that stuff. I just pay the bill, pay the bills. So we do that. We only pick one to market. So it's easier to market that. And for me, in my industry, it's different. The moment you go to the fashion industry and you say that you shoot weddings, like I don't like, because there are like certain people who don't like certain industry within the same industry. So you split your website to two. I did to like okay, these stories is venue.com for weddings, so they don't see each other. But I'm not saying that you should do that because I had to. But for you, if it's all within the art realm and all that, I would suggest to save money, to have a focus, to gain respect from galleries. A lot of people like to see what you specialize in. Everyone can cook everything or do anything, but what are you best? You can do light painting, you can do this, but which one of it that you are most passionate and you can go really far? And then you focus on that, and then that website, the main site, will have all of that. And then you can go to sublink to look at, hey, I do this, I do that, but you can. But it's very clear when I see Cherie, is it? Cherie? When I go to the gallery, oh, that's a Cherie. That's Cherie, there's no doubt about it. And you want that. Then you sell the t-shirts and merchandise, whatever you want to sell, go for it. But one thing, just focus on one.
I'll wrap up. And I'm sorry. Reinforce what Mitchell said earlier on about you've got one ABN, but you can have many different businesses trading in that one ABN. And if art is your niche, like to sell the art, and you do art teaching as well, yeah, you can have one platform to start with, but you might find, no, there's more demand here. Take those things out. Like you still invoice to the same ABN, but from an audience marketing point of view, here is one thing, here's another thing, here's another thing. And the more you niche those as well, the more people can connect with that. If we try and sell everything in one hit, we sell nothing. If we really separate the messaging across platforms or whatever, that's when we start cultivating a whole group of following from there. I think we're running over.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.